Last time on Sleepwalkers of Night Realm. The dire situation turned out to be simply a prank. The rest of the intrepid inmates were perfectly fine, save Trisha, who mentally regressed as a defense mechanism. After their wardrobes were fixed, Bella Nota appeared again. She told our heroes that they were no longer in our world, but in a new one called Night Realm. And the only way to combat the sleepwalkers, those consumed by their dreams and by the nightmares, is to take their dream pieces, magical powers obtained by eating the Sweet Dreams chocolate. She left shortly after Candace took hers, Twisted Mind, and the inmates were left at a crossroads. What happens next? Well, now you can find out. Sleepwalkers of Night Realm. Written and read by storyteller BJ Foltz. Chapter 8. Too bad we didn't have the right montage song. I don't know how long we sat around the table, staring at the small sack. Well, me, Wendy, Alex, Tiger, and Mikey stared at it. Mia and Trisha continued playing around the cafeteria. But the situation just made everything seem like background noise. None of us could have predicted what had happened just now. That Bella's reappearance would shed some light on what this was. A different world. What could this mean? What was beyond the prison walls? And those sleepwalkers weren't just people? So, Mikey said, breaking the quiet, what's our next move? Seeing as, well, you know. I still say we get the heck out of here, Tiger said, after punching Ray in the, you know, if they dropped at least. I'd prefer fortifying this place, Wendy said. We don't know what's out there, if that woman's to be believed. Perhaps making our way to the library would be preferable, and give us a chance to explore further. If there are any sleepwalkers, we need to nullify them. I mean, one was chasing Mia. Who knows if there are any others in here? Now that we have Peter and Candace? Alex asked. I think we can deal with whatever comes our way. Besides, didn't something about that Bella lady seem a bit off? Besides her being the only grown-up who hasn't tried chewing on us? Tiger asked. Yeah, think we got that. What do you think, Peter? Wendy asked. Huh? I asked. I'd been paying attention to the conversation, but also spacing out at the same time. I don't know. I just think we shouldn't just jump to a decision. We saw what happened with Ray's plan, so whatever it is, we need to think things through. Should have gone to politics with that, Peter Pan, Mikey commented. Isn't the answer obvious? Asked Candace's voice. To our surprise, the sack of Sweet Dreams chocolate floated off the table and zipped around, circling around Mikey, knocking against Wendy's head, and rolling across my shoulders. It then floated to the doorway, where Candace stood, a playful smile on her face as she twisted her finger, making the pouch slowly rotate in the air. Oh, turns out Twisted Mind means I've got these sick mind powers now, she said. So, what's your suggestion? I asked, a little on edge. Candace had that air of creepiness, but give her those powers and the last thing I wanted was for her to go carry on us. This! Candace said, flicking her fingers. The sack opened, and squares flew to Wendy, Alex, Tiger, and Mikey. Two flew right over to Mia and Trisha, smacking them in the face. If I'm to survive this, then you peons need to get your own dreamy bits, or whatever they're called. That's the only way I can get through this. I think she's right, I nodded. Wrong reasons, yes, but the best way to survive is for you guys to eat these. See, this is why Petey's my number 2, and the rest... Honestly, I've already forgotten your names, Candace said. That's not very nice, Mia called. Probably, Candace smiled. Well, I'm in, Wendy said, taking her chocolate square and popping it into her mouth. Same, Tiger nodded, eating his square. This'll be cool. I just know it, Alex grinned, swallowing his piece of chocolate. Okay, might as well, Mikey said, hesitantly eating his square. Before Mia or Trisha could eat theirs, they suddenly recoiled as the four yelled in pain, clutching at their heads and writhing in agony. The two looked horrified while I tried to give them a reassuring look. "Bad chocolate," Trisha said, tossing her square away. "I'm with her, yeah," Mia said. "Come on, you'll be cool," Candace said happily. "If they don't want to, they don't have to," I said. "Ha ha, yes they do," Candace said, making chocolate squares float. Mia and Trisha covered their mouths. "Come on, open up, here come the airplanes." "Candace, knock it off," I said flatly. "Okay," Candace said, dropping the squares. "Professional help!" Wendy gasped as she sat up. "Wild thing!" Tiger grunted as he pushed himself upright. "Divine punishment," Alex said, lowering his hands. "Toxicology!" Mikey shouted, suddenly springing up. "Nice to have their names loudly announced," I said. "Gotta say, though, it's convenient," Candace smiled. Did the rest of you hear that woman's voice, too?" Wendy asked, clearly concerned. "Yeah, they did. I know because I didn't. Most likely Candace heard it, too," I said reassuringly. "That was one of the many voices I heard, yes," Candace nodded. "This is, well, weird," Mikey said, flexing his fingers. "I know. Something's different now." Alex nodded. "But hey, think it'll help us knock some heads," Tiger grinned. "Then how about we see how that works?" I asked, opening the door. "Let's strut our stuff." After a bit of a rocky start where Candace thought throwing improvised knives at everyone was an effective training method, things got rolling in the empty, white void that was the inside of Bella's little pocket dimension. It looked like pure marble or pearl, like we wound up on a blank piece of paper. Mikey shouted hello just to see if there was an echo, but training dummies simply appeared out of nowhere. I was so happy that whatever Sweet Dreams Chocolate did gave us knowledge of whatever we got. I mean, just imagine me floundering to use my wild card, completely blind. As I saw the others work things out, I was very, very thankful for that. "This is nuts!" Mikey laughed as he tossed a fistful of a clear liquid at one of the dummies. "What even is that?" I asked. "Just be happy you didn't get any on your face. My dream piece, well, used to peddle stuff, so it makes poison. Best part though," Mikey explained, grabbing a fistful of liquid, "I'm not affected. Anyone else, their hands would have had everything slide off." I moved on to see Wendy, who was looking over Mikey's experimentation. It was a bit of a surprise to see that her eyes were glowing. "Is that normal, or do you need medication for that?" I asked. "That's my dream piece," she said. "I can see how people are hurt. What can hurt them? What can help them? I mean, I was good at diagnosing problems, but this is something else. That dummy Mikey just splattered, that would be slowly damaging them as it continued." "Imagine what that'd do to a few sleepwalkers, huh?" I asked. "Just hope we don't get much of a splashback." "Don't worry, I've got a plan for that," Wendy smirked. "Right. I'll take your word for that, Doc," I said, moving over to Tiger and Alex, who were chucking dummies at each other while using their dream pieces. "My turn! Me next!" Alex called, waving his mouth around. "Fine, dang stupid preacher man," Tiger said, grabbing the dummy and hurling it at Alex. With a wild laugh, Alex swung his mouths around. Electricity crackled from them as they hit the dummies. The minute they made impact, they exploded into a million pieces. "His lightnings enlightened the world! The earth saw, and it trembled!" The regressed chaplain laughed in boyish delight. "Now bring it on!" Tiger called. "Here you go, then!" Alex replied, grabbing a dummy and throwing it at Tiger. With a burst of blue light, Tiger turned into, well, a white tiger. A large one, about the size of a horse, with saber-like teeth and a blue aura around it. With a fierce roar, he grabbed the dummy in its teeth and promptly shredded it. "Right, you two are the front lines," I said. "Awesome!" Alex cheered as Tiger roared in excitement. "Boop! Swish! Shazam! Kerpow!" Candace cheered, throwing knives at a dummy before pulling it up with her mind. She shook it around before tossing it across the arena. "Candace," I asked, getting her attention, "we'll be in the middle." "And why would I do that?" she asked. "Because we've got the range to deal with things, and Tiger and Alex are much more up close and personal. put your heavy hitters on first and baseball kid, Candace asked. 4th grade captain of the team, I nodded. We were pretty awesome. Don't care, Candace shrugged. I'll stay in the middle if I want to. After a moment I asked, well, do you? Sure, why not? She smiled. Then I smiled. A plan began to form in my head, born of my time leading the baseball team, though it was a bit improvised. When we got out, we would be ready to take out some sleepwalkers. Mia and Trisha looked worried for us as we walked out of the door and said what our mission was. But the 6 of us, we didn't care. We weren't just the confused and helpless folks who spontaneously turned into kids. Not anymore. Maybe it was just the fact that we were wearing fitted clothes. If that was the case, Candace might have been our best asset. Don't open the doors until we come back, I said. And keep Trisha safe, Wendy said. Be careful, guys, Mia said. Don't worry, I'll be just fine, Candace smiled, giving the peace sign. Have fun, Trisha called. Thanks, Trisha. I needed that, I said, opening the door, letting us take our first tentative steps out of the cafeteria and into the courtyard. Sleepwalkers have been wandering around this place of apparently eternal night, grumbling to themselves all the while. I took the head and began winding up my bat. Draw, I said as the symbols began shifting across my hand. It landed on a yellow diamond before I swung it out. With a burst of wind, 5 sleepwalkers were sent flying. The second they hit the ground, black whatever it was burst from their mouths and covered their bodies, forming into the razor-toothed, red-eyed monsters that Bella called nightmares. Ooh, they've got dream pieces, one said. This should be fun, another hissed. Dream pieces are so tasty, the third said eagerly. I want the big one. He has more meat, the fourth said. Let me eat! Let me eat them! The fifth said, charging at us. Tiger! I said. On it! Tiger grinned, jumping at the nightmare. With a flash of light, he turned into the large white tiger. He let loose a savage roar and began mauling the nightmare, who began thrashing and tearing at him. Alex! I said. Look out! It's wrath from above! Alex laughed, swinging his croquet mallets and sending lightning at the fourth. Candace! About time. What's the you forgot about me? Candace smiled, throwing knives at the third with her mind. Mikey! Pick your poison! Wait, let me do it for ya! Mikey said, making more of the clear fluid before tossing it at the fourth. Wendy, you stay in the back and keep an eye on things, I said before pointing my bat at the first. Now, want to do this? You look tasty. I'll enjoy eating you, the nightmare said, running right up to me. Draw! I said, a blue spade forming. I swung my bat, sending a blast of water right into the nightmare's face. I then began wailing out with my bat. The nightmare screeched, slashing at my cheek. It was only a graze, though, so I only needed to shout again. Draw! I then swatted a fireball into the nightmare, burning it away with nothing on me but a cut on my cheek. Wendy clapped and cheered. Well done! Well done! And next to no damage on you! I smiled and gave her the thumbs up as I looked over the others. Tiger had a few bloody slashes in his fur, but he still grabbed the nightmare's head in his jaws. With another sharp pull, he ripped the head off with his teeth, making it disintegrate. For obvious reasons, I just heard someone saying, fatality. Alex was jumping around, looking like he was having the time of his life. As he jumped around, dodging slashes and bites from the nightmare, lightning rained down from his mallets like a Christian version of Thor. He then jumped off a wall, smashing both his mallets down to the nightmare, making lightning blast right through its head, making it disintegrate in an instant. Though I walked through the valley of the shadow of death, he smiled. Mikey's nightmare was looking like it had seen better days. Considering the kid kept throwing handfuls of poison at it, I couldn't blame it. It was a persistent sucker, though. It kept crawling towards him. I want food, it groaned, coughing. All right, then. How about a knuckle sandwich? Heavy on the keys, Mikey asked, punching the nightmare right in the face, turning it into a puff of darkness. Flip, 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 Candace said, tossing knives at her nightmare. Anything's possible when you put your mind to it. She then smiled and sent a blast of mental powers, setting the nightmare flying as she tossed more knives at it. It exploded in midair, and she just laughed in elation, bringing her knives back. I spat to the side, watching the other sleepwalkers trudge away. Apparently, they got the hint that this would only end badly for them. "More! Let me have more!" Candace exclaimed. "No, we've got other things," I said. "Excuse me?" Candace asked, picking her knives up. "Just saying. Don't want to exhaust your poor mind, do ya?" I asked. "Fair enough," Candace shrugged, putting her knives away. Our return to the cafeteria was met with applause from Mia and Trisha, who were watching the whole thing. Candace took a bow and Alex pumped his fists like a rock star. Tiger stayed in the back as Wendy tended to his wounds. After he returned to his human form, he still had a lot of damage. Apparently Wendy's dream piece allowed her to heal injuries as well. And that would come in handy going forward. Feeling the adrenaline pump through at having destroyed some nightmares, I now had a good idea on what we should do. Everyone, except Candace, seemed to declare me leader. I didn't ask for it, but now? "Guys," I asked, "I know what we're doing. We're going to the library." "No, we're not," Candace said. "We're going to the library, and that's final." It took a solid second for me to realize that Candace was agreeing with me. I just said, "Okay, we'll go with your plan then." "Great!" Candace smiled, clapping her hands. Moving forward, I'd have to try and get her to realize the chain of command. And so, they have their dream pieces, and have been shown their strength. With their new powers in hand, they feel a new sense of pride and determination. Now they go to the library in high spirits. But what awaits them there? And what new questions lie ahead? Find out on Chapter 9 of Sleepwalkers of Night Realm.